Before I start into this video, I want to alert all of Leafs Nation and the hockey world to a very tragic event that happened to the Leafs this past week. On Tuesday, May 26, 2009, one of the Leafs greats, Peter Zezel, passed away. He had been suffering from a long time from a rare blood disease, and he suffered hemorrhaging due to complications from a surgery to remove his spleen. He was placed on life support, and at 7 p.m. on Tuesday, he was removed. I just wanted to say, Peter, you were one of the Leafs greats. You were a great player both on and off the ice, involved with charity in Toronto, and we will all miss you, and so will the hockey world. Now, on with the show. I have a cold, so if my voice sounds a little different, that's why, but, you know, Stanley Cup Finals are starting tonight, so I have to get this up. This past round was very, very disappointing. So, let's wrap this round up and move on to the finals. No team should ever get swept in a conference final, ever. The Carolina Hurricanes should be ashamed of themselves. They were picked by some to beat Pittsburgh, but when they came into Pittsburgh, they were barely a breeze. Pittsburgh easily handled them, 4-0. That was just ridiculous. I mean, Carolina didn't deserve to win any of those games. They were outplayed soundly by the Penguins. This makes me think that the reason Carolina beat Boston was because Boston had the layoff after beating the Habs. They were off for a good chunk of time waiting for the other series to finish before they could face Carolina, and as a result, they lost their jump. Either way, Penguins advancing on to the final. On to the West. Detroit versus Chicago, and I was disappointed in this one too. Yes, I picked Detroit to win, but I was kind of secretly hoping for Chicago because they are an exciting team to watch. But it was not to be. Chicago gets ousted in 5 games. Now, this series was more exciting to watch because most of the games were close. Chicago was outplayed by Detroit, but that's just because they don't have the experience yet. They will be a contender in the years to come, mark my words. So Chicago, nice run. You were a Cinderella team, but unfortunately the clock struck midnight on your playoff hopes. Not really much to talk about in the conference finals. I mean, both series were just blowouts. Now we move on to the Stanley Cup Finals. So let's do it. With Pittsburgh and Detroit in the finals again, we see a playoff rarity. This will mark the first time since 1984 and 1985 that two teams have met up in the Stanley Cup Finals in 2 consecutive years. The first time since the Islanders and the Oilers met up and traded Stanley Cups. Now each team has a legitimate shot. The Penguins have Crosby and Malkin, who have both matured in the past year and are playing some of their best hockey right now. And they also have a supporting cast of Jordan Staal, Fedotenko, Bill Guerin, Chris Kunitz, all of these guys contributing in a great way. But then you have Detroit with Lidstrom, Chelios, Franzen, and just a whole cast of others that are all top 6 forwards. Now, Detroit is banged up. They are missing Lidstrom, Datsuk, Draper, and Eriksson in the past round. But it didn't really slow them down any. Lidstrom is slated to make his return for Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Final, so they will be getting their captain back for the final round. Datsuk and Draper will remain day-to-day for the rest of this series. Now, it seems to be en vogue for many people to pick Pittsburgh. And I can see why. I think it's a Canadian thing. Canadians in general want to see the team with more Canadians win. And they want their boy Sidney Crosby to win the cup. I think the Penguins will make this series close, but I don't see them beating Detroit. Detroit has so much experience It's crazy. I mean, they're virtually unchanged since the team that beat the Penguins last year. There is the argument that the Pittsburgh Penguins have played this team before and they know what it takes to beat Detroit, but I don't buy into it. I mean, they lost Marian Hossa, Gary Roberts, Georges Laraque, and Ryan Malone, all of whom were great players for the Penguins last year. And, I mean, Detroit got a little bit better with the addition of Marian Hossa. I just don't see it happening. Yes, the Penguins did add Kunitz, Guerin, and others to make themselves better, but Detroit's defense is just so good, it can shut down the other team's top guys 9 times out of 10. So I'm going to say it's going to be close, but I'm picking Detroit in 7 games to take the Stanley Cup. That's my prediction for the final. I will see you at the end of this series for the last episode of this season. Now more than ever, go Leafs go.